The sun rose gently over the Trench family's home, pouring golden warmth into their kitchen. Rayssa hummed while flipping pancakes, the aroma of cinnamon and butter spreading through the house. Jean Basil sat at the island counter, scrolling through his phone, but mostly watching their 3 kids chase each other through the living room. Zakyius led the charge in superhero pajamas, with Zelyiana giggling behind him and baby Zhalani toddling after them with determination. Their laughter was loud and full, echoing through the home like music. In the middle of it all lay Max. Max had been with the Trench family for 12 years. A gentle golden retriever with graying fur and wise eyes, he was more than a pet. He had greeted Jean and Rayssa home from the hospital after both Zakyius and Zelyiana were born. He had watched over Zhalani like a second parent, always nearby, always ready with a nuzzle or a warm presence when she cried. Max shifted, groaning as he lifted himself from the rug. Jean noticed the movement, slow, stiff, the kind of motion that only came with age and time. "You all right, old man?" Jean said, kneeling and scratching behind Max's ears. Max gave a soft woof and licked Jean's hand. His tail wagged, just once, and then he laid back down. Rayssa turned her head slightly, catching Jean's eye. They didn't need to say anything. That quiet exchange carried everything: worry, love, and a dawning realization. That afternoon, the family spread a blanket across the soft grass in their backyard. The sun still glowed warmly above, and the birds chirped without a care. Rayssa sat down with Max resting beside her, head nestled in her lap. Zakyius, Zelyiana, and Zhalani joined, each bringing a toy or treat that Max had loved throughout the years. "Remember when Max stole my sandwich at the beach?" Zakyius said. "And then he dove into the water like a dolphin," Zelyiana added, laughing. They recalled every silly moment. Max stealing socks, hiding in laundry piles, howling at cartoons, and his obsession with peanut butter. Each memory sparked another, laughter layered over quiet tears that none of them wanted to admit were falling. Rayssa whispered into Max's ear, "You've given us everything." Jean joined them on the blanket, wrapping his arms around all 4 of them. Max blinked slowly, resting his head on Rayssa's thigh. He didn't need words. He never had. The following morning, the vet came to the house. It was quiet. Zhalani slept in Rayssa's arms while Zakyius and Zelyiana sat on either side of Max. The family had made the decision together. Max was tired. His legs shook when he tried to stand. He no longer ate, not even peanut butter, and his eyes, once bright and full, now held a gentle fading light. The vet knelt beside Max, explaining everything with kindness and respect. Jean nodded, his arm tight around Rayssa. "We'll be right here the whole time," she whispered. As the vet administered the medication, each family member said something to Max. "You're my best friend," Zakyius whispered. "Thank you for always listening," Zelyiana said softly. "You made this house a home," Rayssa murmured. "I love you, buddy," Jean said. "Doggy," Zhalani cooed, unaware of what was happening, but holding on to Max's tail. Max's eyes closed, his breathing slowed, and then, with one final sigh, he was gone. The silence was complete. The days after Max's passing were quiet in a way the Trench family had never experienced. No paws clicking on the floor, no tail thumping against the couch, no bark to greet the mail carrier or warn them when someone approached the door. His leash hung by the back door. His bowl sat untouched. His bed, the fluffy one by the fireplace, remained in place, though no one could bring themselves to sit in that room for a while. Zelyiana slept with Max's favorite toy, a blue stuffed rabbit with one ear missing. Zakyius wore the dog tag that used to jingle on Max's collar. And little Zhalani kept looking around corners, calling softly, "Doggy, doggy." Jean and Rayssa stayed strong during the day but cried in each other's arms at night. They talked about Max constantly, not to hold on to the pain, but to remember the love. "Do you think he knew?" Jean asked one night. Rayssa nodded. "He knew he was loved every second of his life. That's all that matters." One Sunday morning, the family gathered in the backyard, the same spot where Max used to run laps and chase butterflies. They had decided to plant a tree in his honor, a maple, tall and sturdy, one they could watch grow just as Max had watched them grow. Each of them placed something beneath the soil. Zakyius added Max's old bandana. Zelyiana placed the blue rabbit. Jean gently tucked the leash. Rayssa slid a small note folded in half, unread by anyone else. Zhalani tossed in a crayon drawing, a golden blob with a smile. Jean stood up and spoke softly. "Max, you were part of us. You watched over our babies. You waited by the door every day. You gave your whole heart, every moment. We hope this tree grows with your spirit, strong and full of life." As they covered the roots with earth and watered the soil, the sun came out in full, bathing them in light. Max was gone, but not really. Healing didn't come all at once. It came in small moments, watching an old video of Max snoring on the couch, finding tufts of his fur in old corners, catching the scent of his shampoo while folding laundry. The kids began to draw pictures of Max, flying in the clouds, playing with angel puppies wearing sunglasses. They laughed more often. Rayssa framed a photo of Max and placed it by the front door. "So he's still the first to greet everyone," she said. One day, weeks later, Jean found a letter on his pillow. It was from Zelyiana. It read, "Dear Daddy, I miss Max, but I think he's happy now. Maybe we can rescue another dog someday? Not to forget Max, but to make him proud. Love." Zelyiana. Jean folded the note and kissed her forehead. "Maybe one day." Months passed. Seasons changed. The maple tree grew a little taller. Its leaves turned orange and red, catching the wind like Max used to chase it. The Trench family smiled more now. The pain remained, but it had softened. It lived beside the joy, not in place of it. They often told new friends about Max. "He was more than a dog," Jean would say. "He was part of our heartbeat," Rayssa added. And when they finally visited the local rescue center again, it wasn't to replace Max. It was to carry forward his love, to give another dog what Max gave them. They adopted a little mixed breed named Lucky, with floppy ears and a crooked tail. The kids cheered. Zhalani squealed. Lucky bounded into their home full of life. But by the front door, Max's photo stayed. A reminder, a guardian, a friend. Max, you were family. You were love in a fur coat. You were joy in every wag. Rest in peace. You will be missed. Always. Thanks for the video, and don't forget to subscribe, channel.